Now, Kyle, you've been tantalizing myself and Woody for 3 days now with this story of your father and his your 75-year-old father, correct?
He'll be 73 next month.
Your 73-year-old father and his experience, I would guess, first with marijuana gummies. So please take us over.
Yeah. So I went and visited my dad, hung out with him for a few days at his spot, and just sitting on the couch there, just shooting the shit. I think weed came up somehow. He was like, "What are you puffing on there?" And I got my Delta 8 thing, and I'm like, it's legal weed.
Drugs.
Yeah, I was like, legal weed. He's like, it smells funny. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, let me tell you a story. I was having trouble sleeping. So I went up to town to the dispensary they got, and I asked that old boy in there, what kind of gummies do you have that would help me sleep? And he held up a package, said, this is what I take right here. I take 2. And he said, well, how much should I take? Well, a little less than that, maybe. Well, so I came on home, and I'm like, wait. What does it say on the package? Do you have the package? I'm already nervous. Like, where's the? He's like, I threw him sons of bitches away, but we'll get to that. I do remember it said 25,000 on the jar. So what it is, it's probably 25,000 milligrams divided by how many pieces are in there.
Sure.
But we don't know how many pieces are in there. It could have been as low as 40 or even 25. That could be 1,000 bangers.
Yeah, that better be a giant bag.
Yeah. I was like, well, how big were they? And he's like, well, about like that, about like a cough drop or something. I was like, how many did you take, Dad? Well, I eased on in there, and I ate 1.5 of them. I figured I'd eat less than he does. You know, he's a professional and all. Something came over me after about 1.5 hours, 2 hours. I was in here sitting on my chair, and I thought, damn, I got to go lay down. I fell in the bed in there and passed out. Woke up in the middle of the night, vomiting already before in my sleep. He's like that, but Kyle, I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. So I couldn't move. So I threw up all over myself. And finally, I was able to will myself like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill to wiggle my big toe. And eventually, after about an hour of laying there with vomit on me, I rolled over and I vomited some more then off the side of the bed. So there I am, vomited on the side of the bed, but I still can't move. So I start crawling. I crawl out of the bed. I crawl down the hallway. I crawl all the way into here to my chair. That's where my phone was, you see. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I know he didn't die because here he is. But this is sounding rough. And he says, I got sitting there on the chair and I passed out again. And I woke up about 3 hours later and I still couldn't move a muscle. I could just wiggle a little. And so I got my phone and I called Ronnie. Ronnie's his buddy who lives about less than 10 minutes away. Mm-hmm. The problem is Ronnie got macular degeneration a couple years ago and went legally blind, like blind. Well, Ronnie's a trooper, so he hopped in his truck. Okay. And he's like, I'm like, how did he get here blind? He's like, well, he knows the way. So Ronnie drives like a 7-minute backcountry road drive to my dad's house, legally blind. And when he gets there, the doors are locked. All the doors around the house are locked. And he's on the phone with Dad and he's yelling through the Lamar. And he's like, I'm in here. Well, there's nothing for it at this point. Gotta call 911. Dad needs rescuing at this point. It's become a search and rescue operation at this point, and we have to involve the authorities. So they call 911. Sure enough, a fucking fire department ambulance shows up. They got the same problem Ronnie's got. The doors are all locked, so they're all hustling around the house, trying to open windows, and they're yelling in. They can't see him because the glass is fogged. You know, it's like frosted
Your
glass.
dad's on the ground.
He's crawled into his recliner. He's got like an oversized recliner in the living room, like an old school thing. He's in it, and he can't get out of it. He literally can't get up. At this point, he has been high for a day and a half, and he hasn't eaten. or drank anything. So so they're trying to find a window. They're hollering at him through a couple of doors and some glass, and he's hollering back, "Yeah, I'm in here." And then he hears smash. They've knocked the window out of the back door. They've made entry. So they come in there and they're like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just can't move. I took a weed gummy and I've been paralyzed for almost 2 days." And so they take his vitals and they clean him up a little bit. And they say, "Well, you're okay. There's nothing medically wrong with you. Your blood pressure's good. Your heart rate's good. You're fine. You don't need to come with us. What can we do for you?" He says, "Well, if you could help me back to the bedroom. I'm awful tired." So they say, yeah. So 2 or 3 of them get him up and they walk him back to his bedroom. They haul him in there, put him back in his bed. He sleeps until the next day again. He doesn't wake up until noon the next day. And he's like, "And I still wasn't right, Kyle. It was 2 days after that before I felt sober again enough to drive my truck."
He had his own kind of Christ is risen story there.
Oh my God.
Lamar's a legend.
From 1.5 gummies. Dude, they need to talk to that dispensary. Find out who told him to take less than 2 of these. Probably, what do you think? Probably 50? They must have been at least 50s.
And he's the trooper. So I asked him, I was like, "Did you throw them away right after that?" He's like, "Well, they were a little expensive. So I thought maybe I dosed down a little." So he said,
"Yeah, just
I'm
eat
trying
the
to remember."
pause."
Yeah.
He was like, "So I cut it in half." And he walks me through this process. He's like, he got 1/16 of the gummy. And he's like, way too much. I felt awful from that 1/16 of the gummy. So either he is like a hyper sensitive responder to THC, which genetically speaking doesn't make a lick of sense, or that guy really gave him some good shit. I want what he's having.
I know, right? Now I want to try the super gummy.
Yes.
Used for maximum strength.
It'll paralyze you.
We used to sell Death by Gummies, and then they were sued for putting more in than advertised. I forget how the lawsuit worked out, but their hundreds were so much better than everyone else's hundreds. I genuinely thought everyone else was selling 70s and advertising them as hundreds. It didn't even occur to me.
Oh, you thought they were overselling, but it turns out
I think
they were really going above and beyond.
Exactly. That was their sort of competitive strategy. I don't know what's true. I don't want to get sued for saying this, but I know that they were sued for putting too much in, and I don't know how it worked out. But on the show, I took a quarter of 100, or just nip the feet off. And I was like, it is irresponsible to sell these. At the time, I had no tolerance whatsoever. People thought I was faking. I swear to God, I wasn't. I don't know if they're as strong as they used to be.
It's a drug that you...
Did they have to reformulate them because they were too much?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah. Because every once in a while, I would take one of those. But this is years ago when they were still sponsoring us. And I could taste sometimes where I was like, "Oh, that was a hot shot." That was
well, when you think about making a gummy, first you're making a liquid, you're mixing everything together. But if one part of the batch just kind of doesn't get properly mixed in, some of the gummies will be shitty, and then there's gonna be one super gummy that kills.
They don't create a solution and then pour. They don't create a solution and then pour. They pour the gummy base and then they drizzle it.
They drop.
Yeah. So
I was going to say, if they took an eyedropper of solution and had the same amount in each gummy, maybe that would be no.
Apparently,
so it's a drizzle. It's a random. It's the guy at the fucking pizza place putting a little marinara on top. Is determining how much THC gets in my gummy.
Although you would imagine that, since they were stamping them into bears, I think weren't they bear shaped?
They were bears.
They've got some sort of a press or something. I don't know. Maybe it was a silicone mold. In any case, at my highest tolerance, I think I'd take 2.5 of those, and it's that's a ride. That's one of those where you make sure that everything is done for the night before you eat those gummies, because you're done for the evening.
Do you remember at my higher tolerance, I would take one. And that for me was still the same sort of thing. Make sure you have nothing to do before lunch tomorrow.
Dude, do you remember the bags they came in? Like,
yeah, what was special about the bags?
There were 1,000 warnings on it. Like, it was there were more warnings than they were aggregately other text, even for marketing on the bag. It was everywhere. Warning, warning, warning. This is stronger than you think it is.
Part of the marketing, though. So they're not required to put any warnings on there. I think the warnings are marketing. It's like those weight loss pills. It says, do not take this unless you have to lose 40 pounds this month. If you only need to drop 10 or 20, don't even try it.
Yeah.
You'll die.
Hydroxycut is not
Try
for you.
not to come, guys. Try not to come. That's my warning to you.
Yeah,
I get those ads all the time, and let me tell you, I still come.
You get trying not
If Taylor was in charge of the marketing, he'd be like, let's take some of these warnings off. We need more cum splatter. This is a gummy. Let me cook. I got a plan.
Taylor was onto something with the cum pills, but none of these other things have to do with cum. He just wants cum splatters on fucking everything. Yeah.